Good morning. Hopefully you can hear me, Sue. It's 8:45 and we're here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Let's get going. So I'm going to start. Take your feet to the width of the mat. And I want you to isometrically pull them into each other. And then keep that isometric pull and sweep the arms up. And just hold it nice and long. And then let the arms go, but don't relax the squeeze that you have going on. Take another big, deep breath. Reach your arms nice and long and strong. Good morning, Anne. And then all the way back down. So you've got your feet facing forward the width of the mat, and you're isometrically pulling them into each other. So you feel a big activation in your inner thighs. I want you to keep that while you move the arms up and down. So you're feeling those inner thighs right away, stretching out those arms nice and long. Let's just do one more. Now, pull the elbows as far back as you can get them, squeeze them into each other, and keep pulling these feet to try to touch each other, but they're not going to move. And then come halfway down, nice and slow, while you hold that activation in the legs. Just come down till you think your body's parallel to the floor, and then come back up. So pushing your butt backwards and your weight into the heels. This is kind of like a PMF stretch for a little bit of the hamstrings and a little bit of the inner thighs. Should feel good. Keep those elbows back and squeezing. Hollow out the belly. We're going to do 3 more. So today we're going to work with discs or a towel or a sock and a band, the little ones. And then we're going to work with 1 set of your heaviest weights. Okay, bring the feet hip width apart, hands on your waist, lift the right knee up, and then open it to the side. Bring them back together with your foot bent in the back, and do the same on the opposite side. So out, back, and down. So you're kind of making a funky circle. It's a great way to challenge your balance a little bit, find your grounding, and loosen up our tight hips. Do 1 more on each side. Nice. Now we're going to bring that right knee up and into the chest, and then the left. Just keep going side to side as you pull it as high as you can get it. Feeling a nice little release in the glute. So no hold, just big lifts. Keep it going. Okay, 1 more on each side. Nice. Then come all the way to the back of the mat, feet are hip width. Take a nice big deep breath. And we're going to let the right arm down and take it over to the left. Let the hip go out to the side a little bit, but keep the arm really straight. And then let's do the same on the opposite side. So really try to reach with those fingers as you oscillate side to side. 1 more. Okay, we're coming down into a full forward fold. So take a nice deep breath, swan dive it down, pushing your hips backwards, releasing the head, unweighting the upper body. Inhale to a flat back, pull the hips backwards. Fold back down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, look up, fold down. Inhale, look up, and fold back down. Hands on the floor, baby steps all the way to the front of the mat. We're going to meet in the high plank. When you get there, make sure your shoulders are over the wrists and your hips haven't fallen, nor your face. Now rock it forward onto the toes and then rock it back. Keep the legs straight. Should feel good through your calves. It's not that big of a move. Just keep going. Okay, now meet me in your downward facing dog. Just for 3 breaths while you pull your heels towards the floor. Okay, let's come back to the plank and put your knees down on the floor. So you're in your quadruped position, tuck those toes under. We're going to do some cat-cows here, nice and slow at your pace. I like to drift my hips backwards while I hold the rounded back, because for me, it just changes up the angle a little bit. Get a nice stretch right over the top of my glutes. Hopefully you feel that too. Now make sure you're keeping that belly pressing up and in. Okay, on the tops of your feet, you're just going to take a seat over the heels, walk your hands forward, get a little isometric pull going to loosen up the lats. Just hang out here with your forehead up off the floor and your armpits going down towards the floor when you exhale each of these next 5 breaths. A little work for your neck, but that didn't hurt anybody. Okay, back up onto all fours. I'm going to bring the wrists under the shoulders, tuck those toes under again. We're going to lift up the knees and just hold bear pose because we know how much Sue loves to do this. 3 breaths here, and then we're in that small dog. So you're straightening your legs. The heels are now on the floor. You can still see the sides of your arms. You're just going to hang out here with your legs nice and straight. Now come up nice and high on the toes, as high as you can get. So you feel a lot more weight in the arms. Hold that just for a breath or 2. And then we're going to lower those heels down again. Lift up nice and high. So the body is moving forward, which is why you're feeling more work into the arms. Drive the heels down. One last time, lift up, hold. High as you can. Nice, drive the heels down, walk your hands back. We're going to meet in a full forward fold. This time I'm going to have you cross the arms. Just unweight your upper body. Let it just hang there. As you close your eyes, get lost for a sec, just breathe. Now let's take our hands above the knees. You're going to come back up to standing, nice and slow. Your feet are hip width. We're going to bring the arms out in front, no weights yet. We're just going to come into a little squat and then back up. So you decide how low you're ready to take this. Your range of motion should be the best you can do. Keep hollowing out that belly. And try to keep the knees really stable. Do a few more. Now this time, lift the arms all the way up to the ceiling when you come up. And then when you go back down, you can lower them parallel to the floor. Okay, hold it down. Bring your hands to heart. Give me a little rotation with both shoulders going to the left. Come back center and both going to the right. And just oscillate, keeping the hips from moving and working that six-pack muscle. Just do a few more. Now come back up to standing. We're going to step the left foot forward, get high on the toes on the back foot. So the distance, how far you've stepped that back foot back, is based on how stable you feel. So just come right down and back up. It's okay if this knee is going on top of the toes or maybe even a little bit forward. But we want the shoulders stacking right over the hips. So think of it as going straight down and straight up. Still just part of your warm-up. Do two more. Then we're going to step the back foot in and just switch. So the further back the foot goes, the more challenging it is on stability. So wherever you feel good is where you should be going, right? So pressing up, we want to press up through the front heel as best we can. You want to try to get your butt doing some of this work and not just the quad, not the front part of the leg only. Step that back foot in, take a nice big deep breath and swan dive it down. Now you're going to inhale to a flat back, fold it forward, take your palms down, walk out plank. Drive your left knee to your left elbow and switch. Try to put a little round or flexion in your upper back as you alternate from side to side, really challenging the obliques. One more on each side. Nice. Step it forward, come on back up. Whew. Okay, before we take our weights, we're going to grab our band. Wrap it around your ankles. Now you can use a chair if you need to, or you can hold on to something if you need to. But we're just going to try to stand as straight up as we can. Put your weight into the right foot and kick this band out to the side on the left leg. If you're using a challenging band, it's not going to go very far, but that's okay. Just try to keep it as subtle. So try to get rid of the jerkiness, push it out, resist it in. Push it out, it doesn't need to be fast, resist it in. Out and in, you should be feeling it on the outside of the hip. Try to stay with as good posture as you can. Do a few more on this side, then we'll switch. Next, okay, take it over to the other side, out and in. Try to keep as upright as you can. I know it's hard. We might be better at this on one side. That's totally normal. Okay, take it back to that right foot. Now this time you're going to press this ankle back at a 45-degree angle, forward and back. And switch legs. Try to really get that glute doing the work, right? Do it again, switch. You can put your hand on your butt too to make sure you feel it getting active. Switch for the last time. Okay, keep the band around you. Come to the front of your mat. Take your toes out. Open up the feet, hands to heart. Push your hips back. So you're doing a hip hinge first. And then we're just going to squat it down, keeping that band there. Squat it down. Go as low as you can and just hold it. So you've got the weight in the heels and you're trying to be as upright with your body as you can. So keep the face up. That usually helps you. We're just here for another breath or two more. And then we're going to sit down. You can take the arms out. You can take them back behind you and have a seat. Extend your legs all the way up to the ceiling. Relax the head on the floor. Open out as wide as you can and create a small movement in and out an inch. Now move your feet a little more forward if you can, just a little. So you feel that six-pack muscle wake up and go, oh, I'm supposed to be doing something? Like pressing down? Yes, you are. Can I just hold it? Wider. And bring your knees into the chest. Just a little reprieve before we go to round two. We're just going to do this 3 times. So back up, open out as wide as you can, move the legs forward a bit, and start that pulse again. Hold it. Get wider and reprieve. Knees come into the chest. One last time to finish off this exercise. Back up, open out, move it forward, pulse it. Hold it, get wider. And release it. Hug your knees into the chest, keep the band. So we're going to move the band above the knees. We're going to rock and roll up. I'm going to have you turn onto your right side. Get a towel in case you need it to put under that right hip. So you're facing the side of your room. We've got our legs bent. We're just going to do a clam shell. So you're going to lift the left knee up and then lower it back down. So when you start this, you want to make sure that your hips are stacked and the movement comes from lifting the knee, and we keep those feet together. Lift it as high as you can. You want to feel the top part of that hip and glute. Keep the belly in. You can be completely lying down doing this, or you can be up on your forearm. I like to switch it half and half. You do get a little bit of a different angle, so I'm going to extend my arm all the way down. And now I'm going to work again, lifting as high as I can and lowering. So let's lift and hold it up, and let's come back to that little pulse we were doing before. So it's up and down a tiny bit. And that's to let that left hip roll backwards. So then you're taking the exercise to a different place. We don't want to go there. Okay, hold it up, just hold. Lift it a little higher. And relax. Come back up onto the forearm, flip it around. Now you're going to be lying on your left hip. So stack your feet, Now, pull this right hip forward so you know for sure they're stacked, and it's your job to keep it there. Lift up and lower, lift and lower. Keep the feet connected. And keep your right hip pressing forward. You can take that right hand and put it on that hip as a reminder of where it needs to stay. Today's class is training all these itty bitty little muscles that keep our mobility healthy. So patience is important. Okay, hold it up. Extend the arm all the way down and start to go up and down again. Making sure that right hip doesn't drift back. You might have less range when you're down here, but it's just good to test out these different angles. Okay, now hold it up as high as you can get it with the right hip forward and then pulse it. Hold it and release. Okay, get back on your back. You're going to rock and roll up. You're going to get rid of the band. Take it off. So we're going to stay lying down and we're going to do one round of chest presses. So this was where I asked you to find your heaviest weights that you can do a chest press with. Come on down. Your legs are bent, your wrists are neutral. Just a regular chest press. We're going to do 20, followed by 10 push-ups. We're only doing this round one time. Let the weights touch at the top while you keep those wrists from bending. Don't forget to do that little pelvic tilt. So you're giving your six-pack muscle something to do. Why not? So I'm working on my last 5, then I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to do 10 push-ups. Okay, weights are coming down. Set them off to the side. Flip it around and let's get these 10 push-ups done. Okay, how fun was that? Woo, come on up. Standing up, grab a quick sip of water. Why not? Cheers. Okay. So, either a towel, pair of socks, or a disc. If you have a hardwood floor, or a tile floor like I do, you should be good. Actually, I'm going to use the disc because I have it here. Why am I grabbing the towel? Put the disc under the right foot. Hands out in front here, slide back and forward. Slide to the side and in. Take it back and in and out and in. Now, pick up your heavy weights. We're going to do the same thing. So you're going to slide back and forward and out and in. Shoulder the weights now. Drive back and side and do one press and another press. Back, side, press both. Do it again. Back, side, press both. Bring the weights down in front, kick off that band, that disc, start to slowly give me some deadlifts. So 5 deadlifts, followed by 5 rows, followed by 5 presses. When you start your rows, your body's parallel to the floor. You try your best to get those elbows nice and high each time. Right up to your chest. When you've done 5, shoulder the weights, press 5. We're just doing this one more round. 5 deadlifts. Five rows. Come back up. 5 presses. Okay, put them down. Just going to take our disc, slide out the other way. So take it back and then side. And back and side. Nice and smooth. One more of each, and then we're going to hold the weights. Okay, grab the weights. Take them back and side. Oh, back and side. Shoulder them. I'm going to alternate. You guys can do both at the same time. Your weights are a little lighter. Regardless of what they are, press them up. One more. Okay. Put them down. Nice job. Okay, back down on the floor. We're going to do some lat pulls. So you either have 2 weights going back with a very straight arm, or you hold 1. I'm going to just hold 1. I'm going to keep my legs bent, and I'm going to do that pelvic tilt as best as I can to keep that 6-pack muscle pressing down. Take it back, work the range that you're able to. Try to keep the ribs low as well. We're just going to do 5. So if you're holding the weight horizontally, you can get a little more range of motion if you're just using 1. Okay, pull it forward. Now bring the elbows down to the floor, like a narrow press. Take it up and then take it back to the lat pull. So you're forward, elbows lower, press up, and then go back. 5 times. You got to make sure those arms stay straight and the ribs down and the belly down. Imagine if you were repeating something over and over and over with incorrect form. So we like our look to be without our ribs and belly puffing out. That's why you got to press them down. Let's do one more of each because these are so fun. Okay, keep that weight on your hip or both of them and bridge up into a bridge. Like the back of the arms off the floor. Your feet are hip width apart, but I want you to squeeze your knees together with all your might. You're working your inner thighs. While you squeeze, you're going to lower slow and then come back up. Try not to release the squeeze, right? Lower and lift. We did a lot of outer hips today. Got to get these inner thighs going. We're going to do some PMF stretching in the end, which is super duper good for us. Do 5 more here, and then you're going to hold at the top. You're going to open and close the knees. Okay, hold at the top if you've done the extra 5. Now open and close and squeeze. Open. So when you're opening, please don't release the glutes. You want to work as much muscle as you can in this short 45 minutes that we have. Squeeze. You got to find a way to make these great. The only thing that's going to happen if you squeeze really hard is that you will get better at this. 5 more fabulous ones. Then we go up and down for 5 while we're squeezing. Don't yell at me, you can do it. I know you can. Squeeze those knees, take it up and down, slow. It's all about the squeeze. Keep the belly down. Actively press it down. Give me 1 more. And let it go. Okay, we're putting the weight off to the side. You're done with the weights. You're going to take a full body stretch. Oh yeah, how good does that feel? So you're pointing your toes. Spread your fingers wide. The arms are nice and long. Now just squeeze your hands, make a fist, and then open. And squeeze. And open. Just do that a few more times. Keep pointing those toes so the shins get length. Okay, the arms are going to come up. Palms face each other. So you got your wrists over your shoulders. Hold that for a sec. Give me little bends in the knees. So you're pulling each ankle in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches. Now hold, so you got a bent leg basically, but not a big one. Flex your feet. So it's just the heels on the floor. Lift your head, hollow out the belly, press it down. So now you're like holding a crunch, if you will. The shoulder blades are up. Now you're going to roll it up Pilates style and dive through the legs. With that nice little bend you got going on. Dive through, hold it here, let the head relax. Keep your legs bent. Okay, you're coming back up on your feet, however you want to get there. This is PMF work. So we've got our left foot forward and our right leg back. So unlike what Sean did on the weekend, we're going to isometrically, we're going to do what he did, but not to start. So first I'm going to have you straighten the front leg, straighten the back leg, both heels down. Okay, once we have that going, isometrically pull the 2 heels towards each other. Make a fist, get the elbows back. Give me a half forward fold down. while you keep the isometric pull. Should be uber challenging. This is actually stretching, bringing length back. You should feel weird little tugs behind that leg. Once you went down halfway, you come back up. And maybe you're not going halfway, and that's cool. Take it as far as you feel you can. Because you've got this front leg completely straight, right? Come back up. And then, so you've done 2 on that side, do 2 on the other side. Look at your feet though. We want to make sure that they're in a straight line pointing forward. Get the elbows back. Get this isometric pull going on, heel to heel, and start your fold. Elbows are high. Come back up. It's a lot easier to get up than it is to go down while you maintain that activation. Okay, come back up. You're going to step your back foot back. I want you to keep the elbows close to the side of the body. Your feet are hip width apart. You're going to pull the forearms backwards. But I want you to think of initiating that movement from the back of the arm. A lot of people will cock their wrist and they'll be moving their wrists or their hands. It's this part of the arm that you want to try to take back there and squeeze. And now we're going to round forward, which we know we're all good at doing. And then come back and squeeze. Really try to get that arm moving back. And then round forward, give it a release, and do it again. That's all you're doing with the rounding forward. You're just kind of giving it a little bit of a release. One more time. Nice. Relax, shake it out. Give me a little rotation. Let the hips go as you turn your shoulders side to side. Just swing the arms so you get good blood flow back. Okay, pick up whatever weights you do a bicep curl with. We're going to do 5 curls. Nice and slow. So make sure you're going heavy, heavier than you normally would if you can. Nice. Now take those weights behind you. Give me 5 squats. Sorry, not behind you, but by your side. 5 curls. Really important to have good posture and keep it as smooth as you can. Back to your 5 squats. Remember, a squat is bending at the knee. It's not folding the upper body all the way down. Back to your last 5. And back to your last 5 squats. Nice. Okay, put the weights away. Say goodbye for now. Come all the way down on the mat. We're going to do a couple of stretches and send you off to start your day. So, haven't done this, one of my all-time favorites. We're going to cross the right knee over the left. Have just a little bend in the legs. Let the knees go to the right, toward the right, not all the way. And take this left arm 45 degrees out to the side, It's a great stretch for your chest, your side body, over that hip. So your knees are floating. You're just closing your eyes and breathing. I want you to keep the arm really long. Now you can play around with that angle of the arm. Switch it. Even if it's an inch or two back or an inch or two forward, go where it feels good. Okay, bring it all in. You're back on your back. Now, before we do the other side, we're going to take that left foot, cross it over our right thigh. You're just going to do a figure 4 stretch without using your hands. So you're pushing your left knee forward. Get that activation going. Arms are on the floor by your side. And then you're going to lift that foot off the floor. Here's your figure 4 stretch. Keep the tummy pressing down. Okay, release that right foot and then the left. And now we're going to take the left knee and we're going to cross it over the right. Smaller bend in the legs. Roll them towards the floor on the left side and the right arm goes out. Keep that right arm long, like you're trying to reach for something. Switch up that angle a little bit, either forward or back. You're using that left leg to pull that right knee towards the floor, but it's not going to get there. We don't want it to. Okay, bring it all back in. You're lying on your back. You got both knees into the chest, giving yourself some love. We did all the hard work. Maybe add a gentle rock side to side or a little circle. Keeping the knees together to start. Change your direction. Now we're going to circle the knees independent of one another. Your arms can be on the floor or they can be on top of your knees, just guiding them. Big circles. Change your direction. From here, you're heading to a happy baby. Hold the outsides of the feet, heels to the ceiling, knees to the floor. Low back stays down. You can add a gentle rock if you like. Okay, release the right leg all the way down along the floor. Straighten your left leg, just hold on to that left foot. Press the toes down to the face so you feel the tendons behind the knee stretch. Right calf is on the floor. And then just switch. Take the left leg down, hold the right. Toes press down towards your face. Keep the leg nice and straight. Great job. Okay, bending both knees into the body. You're going to rock and roll back up, all the way up onto your toes. Hang out here just for a second. Get the blood flow relaxed. Okay, fold over. Let your head fall. So you're looking through your knees. Hands above the knees, come up nice and slow. Great job. Thank you so much for your power and strength. Woohoo! Good work.